Yes, today a lot of players and coaches have talked about how everyone's kind of working at different positions throughout the line, whether it be tackle or end. I guess, where do you see yourself fitting in, or do you envision yourself playing multiple positions, or what are you most comfortable with, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable with both. I feel like it's mostly a need-based, based on the different offenses we'll play. And I'm prepared, and they're preparing me to play both inside and outside, and obviously depending on the different fronts and personnel we see, and then we'll move from there, each week.
What's your just sort of overall experience there? I mean, I got the impression that you played mostly end at Cal.
I played a mix of 3-tech and 4-eye, and then some 5 and different, based on the down and distance or different personnel we were playing. So I'm experienced all over the line, from everywhere from 2-eye all the way out to 5 or 6-eye in some plays. So yeah.
So this isn't the least bit of a.
No, I'm not worried about it, and they're doing a good job, teaching me the playbook and getting me reps to practice and everything. So it's all going smoothly.
What do you think is just the value of cross-training as many guys as possible? It seems like there's a couple guys like DeMarcus who were almost entirely tackles last year.
Right.
Edge looks. What do you think that does for you guys to make sure everybody can play all 3 of those positions?
I think it's important just to have versatility, especially with a game like football, when you never know who you're going to have each week, depending on the season. So if a guy's down in the game for a drive or whatever you need, you got to get guys to step up. So, and there's a lot of, younger guys doing a really good job, like Dalton Davis and Nick James, and Money Jamari has been showing some really good promise, and we got a lot of guys on the D-line stepping up, and so you never know when we're going to need them. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand.
What are some things that Coach Randolph maybe recognized when you first came on campus that you think you've been working towards improving the most as the season approaches?
You said what are things that
that Coach Randolph maybe identified with you when you first arrived on campus, that like, hey, we want to work on this to improve before the start of the year?
Well, I think there's a couple technique things that I wanted to hone in on, and with that's pretty specific stuff, like my first step and driving my feet and whatnot and stuff like that. And obviously both of us were learning the new system at the same time, so kind of getting that going. And he's a really big. I'm a high energy guy, but I mean Randolph is a different animal. So he's great about raising the energy in the room and getting us ready to practice, and I'm sure we'll see it on game day. And so I've never really had an issue with bringing energy, but he's like raised the level for all of us, and I've really appreciated that. And that, coupled with him coaching us on technique and whatnot, has been great.
Speaking of technique, I mean, James talked about his pass rush, teaching basically the moves that you learn from him. He said some stuff that I hadn't seen before. I guess just tell us a little more about that. I mean, is there a lot of stuff that you've seen from Coach Randolph in terms of pass rush technique that's new to you, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we do. I'm coming from a different program and stuff. I've been exposed to new drills and new ways to think about things, and new ways to conceptualize pass rushing and to get after it. So I think that's been really a benefit for me personally, because I've come from where I've come from to where I am now, and having a lot of different pieces of input and whatnot. And so Randolph has definitely done a good job of introducing me to some new concepts and to some new ways to look at pass rush, and it's been really great.
What's impressed you about James Head?
J-Head? What about J-Head? I love J-Head. He was, right when I arrived, he was really helpful for me. He's very calm and collected, but he also has a great sense of humor, and he works really hard in the weight room and out in practice. He's a 5th year guy like me, and DMAC and J-Head and BZ, all of those guys are very humble, and it's good for our program, because we have sometimes the older guys can be, it's a different programs or whatever it is, could be lazier, like, want the younger guys to carry the load of whatever it is, or say, I don't need to do this or that. J-Head definitely does not do that, and nor do the other older guys. And I think it's definitely a good leadership for our program and our room, our D-line room specifically.
What impressed you about him, just in terms of what you've seen, on the field so far?
And yeah, he's been really aggressive this camp and on this spring. I've seen a lot of aggressive play, which I've liked seeing, like get in the backfield, and he's really improved on the pass rush. I've seen him make some very impressive and aggressive moves, on the field, and I've loved watching that, and I'm excited for that to show up on Saturdays as well as the other guys as well. Good.
Anything else?
All right, Sean.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah.